right, welcome back. This is episode 27 here of my Realignment 2028 series as the expansion team Oakland A's. It is the playoffs. We are into the division series, having gotten a first round bye after going 98 and 64. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned in oh, that would be why. Yeah, Kyle Reed ruptured his tricep tendon and is out for 3 months, so he did not get a chance to challenge the home run record. Finished the year with 66 home runs. Still an incredible season, and will probably win him the MVP, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah, 98 and 64. We're into the playoffs. I think we looked at the Mariners last time. I'll go over their roster a little bit once we get into game one, but I'll want to go through our playoff roster first because there were some interesting decisions to make here. When it came to pitching, I decided to go with a 12-man rotation, and yeah, we've got Bello, Strapadopoulos, Rainville, and Jones as our four starters. Jones started the year in our number one slot. He's kind of been our, I don't want to say our worst pitcher, but he's by FIP and by ERA probably our weakest link, I guess, but still not bad by any means. These guys should all be quality starters in the playoffs. Which is part of the reason why I'm more comfortable going with a 12-man bullpen. And the other reason would be that we have Ferris and Sieber in as stoppers who should theoretically, eat up a good chunk of innings by themselves. James Hudson will be our closer. He's been good throughout the season. Actually close to, no, he did not lead our team in FIP. Logan Redeman and Kirkering both did well at that, so they both made the roster off of that. I'll probably, if I have to bridge the gap at all, go with a mix of Goss and Kirkering, just because Goss had pretty good numbers as well. Yeah, and Redeman, ERA is a little bit higher, but FIP is lower, so he might get some mix in there as well. Soliday, is mainly just depth. Same with Senja, who was a bit disappointing this year, but still not bad. Just, yeah, kind of the weak link here. He'll be used in more of a long relief role if needed here. And then our lineups, so we went with 14 batters, and maybe the most surprising one is the kind of last man on the roster here, who was Adrian Santana. He spent most of the year in the minor leagues, a good half the year, and didn't have particularly great numbers. I'm mainly including him here because the other option would have been Brian Dupuis, who finished the year fairly strong in limited opportunities, but I think having Santana as both a defensive replacement and possible pinch runner, where he's very, very good at stealing and base running, yeah, I think that offers more value in the playoffs than than Dupuis off the bench. Yeah, I just don't see myself pinch hitting with Dupuis a lot of the time. I've got other guys that I would rather pinch hit with here, and I think Santana as a potential pinch runner and defensive replacement makes more sense. So, that being said, our lineups when it comes to right-handed pitchers, we've got Zimmerman in at first base leading off, DeJesus at DH, where he had a great year. He's been our best hitter throughout the entire season, both against lefties and righties. So he'll grab the 2 spot there. Austin Wells slots in at number 4 here with Yeah, Austin Wells slots in at number 3. Sorry, with Sanchez at number 4. Sanchez struggled to end the year, but his numbers across the entire season good against righties. So we'll kind of have to watch and see how he does in the playoffs. Shelley at number 5 in right field. Nimala, great end of the season at second. Cutter Coffee at third, just edging out Justin Grant for a starting spot here. And then PCA and Volpe at the bottom of the order. They mainly, their defense is their big contributor here. But they're not bad hitters by any means, as both of them had around 100 OPS. Patrick Bailey's our backup catcher against righties, and then we have Martinez, Grant, Fugate, and Santana off the bench. Probably roughly in that order if I was to use them as pinch hitters here. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Lineup does shift a bit against lefties. We have Zimmerman at DH against lefties with DeJesus in right field, and that allows us to shift some things around. Nimala plays second still, but Justin Grant gets the start at first against lefties with Fugate at third. Jordan Sanchez still in left field, Volpe at short, PCA at center, and Patrick Bailey will start at catcher against lefties since Austin Wells does not hit them particularly well at all. And that means we have Cutter Coffee, Steven Martinez, and Wade Shelley coming off the bench, along with Santana and Wells if necessary, against lefties. So I expect most of this roster should get some playing time here. The only one who's not currently starting is Martinez, currently edged out of the rotation. He'll probably still be used as a pinch hitter, I imagine. And Santana, he will likely see play as a pinch runner and or defensive replacement. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Seattle, game 1. We are at home versus Seattle with the better record. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so game number 1 here. We've got Julio Rodriguez leading off for the Mariners. Pretty underwhelming season for him. Man, he really, really fell off this season. I don't know exactly what happened there. And Cesar Campos had a solid season at first base for them. Josue De Paula is a name that I recognize. Yeah, he put up 2.2 WAR, so he had a solid year. Jacob Lombard, 4.4 WAR, probably their best hitter by WAR. Drake Baldwin, our old friend, is batting for them and playing catcher. In case you're curious, he finished the season with 2.5 WAR, while Austin Wells finished the season here for us at 3 WAR and 100 OPS. So pretty similar seasons, but I think slight edge goes to Wells there. Stewart, 1.9 WAR and 102 OPS, decent numbers. Kason Cunningham, 2.2 WAR, I imagine largely off the back of his defense. He'll be playing second for them today. Christian Encarnacion Strand is their DH, and Jace Bowen playing left field after being claimed on waivers from Detroit. Interesting there. And Cameron Appenzeller is their starting pitcher, and he looks okay. Hopefully this is a pitcher that we can get to early here as we have Bello on the mound. He's been our ace this season. Finished the year with a 6 1/3, 4-hit shutout bid. yeah, I have to say, I think we have the edge here. Hopefully that works in our favor as we get into game one. All right. So, leading off is Julio Rodriguez as he hits that one to the right side, but playable for Grant, and Bello out there. So this is our left-handed lineup here as Campos works a walk. And DePaula hits one into center field for a single. So 2 on here in the first. Let's see if Bello can get around this as Lombard swings and ball gets away from Bailey, but no one is able to advance. Okay. Lombard in the full count walks, so bases are loaded now with 1 out, and Drake Baldwin up at the plate. You know, he's probably itching to get revenge against his former team, but he can't this time as he strikes out. Sal Stewart will come up with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and he strikes out. Nice job by Bello getting out of the jam there in the first. And we head to the bottom of the first, still 0-0. And this is a dangerous offense, so let's see if we can get to Appenzeller early as Zimmerman flies out for the first out. DeJesus with 85 power, I guess, against left-handed pitchers, but he draws the walk there as Nimala will bat, and that is deep enough that they can't turn the double play. From his knees, apparently, gets that one to the first baseman for the second out of the inning, and Grant will bat next and through for a base hit. That's into right field. DeJesus not a particularly fast runner, but does slide in for a RBI single for Grant, and he advances to second after they try to get the out at home. So Fugate will bat with Grant in scoring position here. And that looks like it'll score another run as that gets into the gap in right center field. That's at least a double there for Fugate, and it is, in fact, a 2-bagger as we are now up 2-0. See if Sanchez can keep the inning going. And he grounds out to the first baseman, Campos. But we get 2 in the first, and that's what you like to see. Get to him early. Kason Cunningham will bat here and draws a leadoff walk. Already Bello's 3rd walk of the game. And allows a single to center field, so 2 on with nobody out here. Oh, as they go for the long throw, but it's off target. So 1st and 3rd with nobody out as Jace Bowen will bat. There's a little grounder in front of the plate as they turn 1, and do they turn 2? Double play, and the runner is forced to hold at 3rd with the shallow grounder, so suddenly 2 outs and a man at 3rd with Julio Rodriguez back up. Oh, and the ball gets away from Bailey as Cunningham comes across to score. All right. So he scores on the wild pitch there as Julio Rodriguez would have scored a run anyway with that single. But hopefully we can get out of the inning without any further damage as Rodriguez takes off on that pitch, but no harm done as Fugate is able to throw across the diamond and get Campos. So 2-1 now as Volpe will bat for us. And he strikes out. PCA up to bat next against Appenzeller. And he strikes out. All right, Bailey batting 9th. Works a walk, so inning will continue here as Zimmerman steps in. And Bailey going for the steal here. And he's safe, so Bailey, not known for his speed, but tricky on the base paths as he gets it into second base safely, but ultimately doesn't matter as Zimmerman grounds out to the pitcher. So still 2-1 as we head into the third. And that's hit to left, but playable for Sanchez. Lombard will bat and hits that one right to DeJesus. So 2 outs now, and Drake Baldwin will bat. It's the 3-1 pitch to a playable spot for Volpe. No, not Volpe, Namala. I'm used to Volpe playing second. All right. DeJesus, very dangerous. Let's see what he can do here with 3-2 pitch. And he ends up flying out to the right fielder, DePaula. Namala will bat here. And grounder to third as he fires across the diamond and throws out Namala and Justin Grant. 1-for-1 so far today. Let's see if he can stay hot. He cannot. That is a strikeout for Grant, and that's 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, Bello back in against Stewart. And that is through over the shortstop's head into left field for a base hit. So Bello, I think, has allowed base runners in every inning so far. Oh, nice snag by Fugate. All right. And that's first out of the inning as Encarnacion Strand will bat and hits that one into right field for a base hit. And the runner stops at second. And Jace Bowen will bat with 1 out and 2 on. It's that one to right field, but we're right at DeJesus as he makes the catch. And Julio Rodriguez back up with 2 on. And that is hit to shallow-ish center field, and PCA is able to run in and make the gap. So no more runs score. Still a 2-1 ball game. Let's see if we can get some more runs here with Fugate up the plate. And that one doesn't quite sneak through as Cunningham grabs it and throws first for the out. Sanchez will bat. Sanchez gets hit. And he's on now for Volpe. As Volpe hits that one into center for a base hit. Wide turn, but Sanchez stops at second. PCA now a chance to get some runs, especially now that the wild pitch let the runners advance. As the catcher slowly walks back to home plate. There we go. Okay. PCA hits that one to the gap, but playable for their center fielder, Rodriguez, and that is deep enough that Sanchez tags and scores, so it's a 3-1 ball game. Nice sac fly there as Bailey strikes out. So we only get 1, but that does extend the lead to 3-1 as Bello will pitch against Campos. And that is out number 1. DePaula up next. Draws a walk. That's Bello's 4th walk of the game. As DePaula steals second off that pitch. So Bello not having great control so far this game. But he does induce the ground out from Lombard. And Baldwin will step in with 2 out and a man on second. And strikes out. Nice job there by Bello. So Bello despite getting into quite a bit of trouble in just about every inning so far, has managed to largely work around it as Zimmerman will face Appenzeller next. And that goes to second baseman for an easy out. And that's Appenzeller's day right there, allowing 3 runs on 3 hits. Kind of some unlucky balls, I think, there for him, but that's the way it goes sometimes. As Peralta strikes out to Jesus. We are up against the righty now. Not that we're thinking of making any pinch hitting choices just yet, but we might be now that Nimala is on with potentially a double here as he slides into second base safely. Nice job there. Okay, so Justin Grant will bat, and let's see if we do want to make a change here. As we do have Cutter Coffee that could come in and pinch hit here in this situation. Grant's not bad against righties, but in this situation, I think we might. No, you know what? I'm going to let Grant bat, and then if Fugate comes up to bat against the righty, I will pinch it for him. As the ball gets away there from Baldwin and allows the runner to advance to third, as Baldwin slowly walks back to the plate. All right, so Grant will bat here with 2 outs, and that will end the inning. So maybe pinch hit was the right move there, but I don't necessarily regret that. I think still just the 5th inning as well. It's Kason Cunningham. It's that one to shallow left field, but that's playable for Sanchez. 86 pitches for Bello. Let's see if he can get through the 6th here. Oh, we got a man on here. I think that'll be, well, only a 2-run lead. Bowen is 0 for 2 today. All right, we're going to chance it. Bello's going to face Bowen. Strike 3. Nice job giving it all he's got there on what is his last batter of the game. Getting out of the jam one more time. So Fugate will come up to bat now against Peralta. He is 1 for 2 today, but he does not have a great track record against righties so far. So we are going to go with the pinch hit here with Cutter Coffee coming up to bat. As he grounds out to the shortstop. All right. Sanchez will bat for himself here. As that one's crushed. I don't think that's staying in the yard. Yeah, upper deck shot. Nice job there by Sanchez. 431-foot bomb for a 4-1 lead. Nice. Volpe will bat next. And that is playable and caught by Rodriguez. PCA. Strikes out. So the side is retired. And Coffee will stay in and play third. Actually, I think I want Coffee playing first and Grant at third. Actually, this is fine. Okay. Pitchers. let's see. We've got a righty, righty, lefty up. I think we look to put in let's do Sieber here. He's still set to be a starting pitcher. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but oh well. I think that's fine. As Rodriguez lines it to the shortstop, Volpe, and that's the first out of the inning. Campos draws a walk. Zapala. It's that one into shallow right field, and that drops in for a hit. So 2 on here, as Lombard will bat next. And that is through for a base hit. So Sieber not exactly coming through in the clutch here. Okay, I think we pull him here with 15 pitches. That's not exactly what I was hoping for in the 7th inning, but we need outs. We need our best lefty pitcher available, and that is Jackson Ferris against Drake Baldwin. And Baldwin comes through with a hit up the middle, so that scores at least 1 run. Scores 2, so it's 4-3 now, as Stewart will bat next. And the ball gets away. Okay, things are just falling apart here. Yeah, that's not great. And that's crushed to left field, and that'll be a home run. Oh my god. Okay, so that's a disaster. It's 5-run 7th inning as we blow the lead here in the 7th. All right. Man, that's rough. Ferris does get the next 2 outs, but kind of too little too late there, as yeah, that's something. We're gonna pinch hit Austin Wells here for Bailey against the right-handed pitcher, and because we need offense badly. As Wells, that hangs up, does not hang up enough for DePaula to grab it, so Wells is on with nobody out. Zimmerman up to bat. Zimmerman hits that one to center field for the first out of the inning. DeJesus, let's see what he can do here today. As that is hit right to the left fielder Bowen for the second out of the inning. Nimala will bat. And that is over the third baseman's head as he doesn't even move for the ball. And Wells gets into third off of that. So that's a single to make it first and third, 2 outs here. Could maybe do Shelley, but yeah, I mean, we need offense here. So we're going to do it. Shelley will bat for Grant here as he strikes out to end the inning. Man. Okay, so I think DeJesus can play first. And he can. So we're going to move DeJesus to first. We're going to put Shelley in right, and Wells will stay in at catcher. Ferris will stay in at pitcher for now. Strike out there for Ferris. And that is lifted by Rodriguez, but playable for Sanchez. And Cesar Campos hits lefties well. Hits lefties very well. Okay, so I think we go to a right-handed pitcher against him. This was about the time I think I would have wanted to bring in James Hudson anyway. We are down by 2, but I want to keep this as close as possible. Still have 6 outs with which to try and come back. As Volpe running in to try and make the play. And he does make the play. All right, so Andres Munoz in to try and get the 8-out save. We'll see how we can do against him. He has blown 7 saves, so not impossible here as Cutter Coffee flies out to the left fielder. Jordan Sanchez does have a home run in this game and draws a walk here, so he is on now with Volpe up to bat. And Volpe, that could be a double play as they turn 1 and they turn 2. Yeah, so Volpe grounds into the double play, and we head to the 9th with DePaula, Lombard, and Baldwin up. As that ball's crushed, and it's 7-4. Man. Alright, we're still not out of it yet, but things are looking not great at the moment. Baldwin draws a walk. Okay, so Hudson getting into a bit of trouble here in this inning. I mean, he's already given up the home run, but yeah. Alright. Let's see if he can get Cunningham. So that ball's hit fairly deep, but playable for Shelley. Okay, so we'll head into the 9th. Down by 3. We need some offense. We need it bad. We got PCA, Wells, and Zimmerman up to try and start something. PCA does not start something as he grounds out to first base side. Wells is 1 for 1 today, though. Now he's 1 for 2 as he strikes out. And we're down to our last out here, Zimmerman. It's that one over the shortstop's head, so we will stay alive here as Zimmerman is on for DeJesus to bat. Bunya is already tired with 21 pitches. And he strikes out, so he does get the save here. Kind of a disastrous outing from our bullpen here. Bella with a great start. Should have been good enough to win, but Sieber just came in and just couldn't get anybody out. And Ferris, not the worst outing, but not the best either. And Hudson could have been better as well. Our offense did enough to win, and our bullpen kind of let us down here, which is surprising since our bullpen has been good all year, and we went to some of our best arms here in this game. So, not a great showing here, as maybe having Sieber set to be a starting pitcher was not the best move there. But, still just the first game in the series, so we'll see if we can tie it up here in game number 2. All right, so let's get into game number 2 here. We are going with our right-handed lineup this time. So Zimmerman, DeJesus, Wells at catcher, Sanchez, Shelley at right field, Imala, Coffee at third base, and then PCA and Volpe. with TJ Strapadopoulos on the mound. Had a very good season, 3.7 WAR. His first full regular season in the majors, and yeah, happy with what he's done. So he'll be facing Rhett Lauder today, who looks solid overall. Last pitched against Kansas City, winning that one 11-5. Gave up 2 earned runs over 4 innings. So we should be able to get to him. I think they largely have the same lineup as they did yesterday, so not really going to go too in depth into that. Let's just get into game number 2. We definitely don't want to go down 2-0 in the series, heading to Seattle, so let's see how things go here. As TJ Strapadopoulos strikes out first batter Julio Rodriguez. Nice job there. Campos hits that one, but it's high and playable for Coffee. And that's 2 outs quickly as DePaulo will step in. And that's hit deep but playable for Shelley. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. Nice job. As Zimmerman hits that one to the gap in left center field, and that's extra bases right there. As he reaches with the double. So leadoff double here as DeJesus will bat next. And he strikes out, okay, on a full count there, as Wells will bat. And it's that one fairly deep but playable for their center fielder as Rodriguez catches it. Zimmerman tags, gets to third, so any base hit should score him as Sanchez will bat, and Sanchez will strike out. So leadoff double goes to waste as we do not score. Jacob Lombard up next. And that one gets into right field for a base hit. 2-0 pitch, and that one gets into left field for a base hit. So first 2 guys on for Seattle here in the inning. Let's see if Strapadopoulos can pitch around that, as that looks like a potential double play ball as we step on third to get the lead runner and then send it to first in time to double up Stewart. So nice job there, the third to first double play. As Casey Cunningham will bat, and Casey Cunningham will strike out. Nice job getting out of that jam there after getting into some trouble to start the inning. Wade Shelley hits a slow grounder to the third base side, and slow enough that he will make it to first without a throw, and that's an infield hit for Wade Shelley. And Shelley goes for second and gets himself a steal there. So infield hit and steal for Shelley to put himself in scoring position, and he gets to third off of that grounder by Nimala. So now anything to the outfield should score a run. This Coffee hits that one to somewhat shallow center field, but Rodriguez, not a good throw. And Shelley fast enough to tag and score, so it's 1-0. Nice job manufacturing a run there with his speed. As PCA strikes out to end the inning, but we do have the lead now, 1-0. As strike out there for Strapadopoulos, it's his third of the game so far. And that one's playable for Volpe in the infield. Julio Rodriguez walks with 2 outs. and he tries to hold up and does not hold for strike 3, so that's his 4th strikeout of the game. Strapidopoulos doing quite well so far through 3. And Volpe leads off the inning with a single. Nice job there. Volpe takes off and does not even warrant a throw as he gets himself to second base. So more base running here as Zimmerman hits one through to center field for a base hit, and they go for the play at home, but Volpe is fast enough to avoid the throw, and Zimmerman goes to second off of that. So just like that, it's 2-0. Jesus strikes out. He's been struggling so far in this series. As Wells will bat next. And he walks. So first and second now with 1 out. Sanchez to the plate. And Sanchez hits that one to shallow center field. And Shelley hits that one to the second, and enough time to get the runner there. So another bit of small ball there as we get run off a steal and a single. So 2-0. DePaula flies out to PCA. And that ball falls in for a base hit. Baldwin will bat next. That looks like a potential double play ball. No, it's had to go on his knees. It's Nimala. Does get the out there. So 2 outs. South Stewart. That's a long throw for the shortstop Volpe, but does get the out there. So Strapidopoulos threw 4 very solid innings. And Nimala hits that one into left field for a base hit. And Coffey follows that up with a single of his own to right field. So 2 on with no outs, and PCA up to bat. PCA crushes that one to right field, but deep enough where Nimala can tag and get to third. Does not leave the yard though, as Volpe will stand in. And that's to left field, but looks like Nimala will try and tag and score here. And he does. So another sac fly puts the score at 3-0. As Zimmerman lines out to Campos. Cunningham to Campos. Okay, so still 3-0. Strapidopoulos at 53 pitches only. He's going to keep going into the 5th here. Oh, throw off target there from Straps. That's a tough play to make, but that is still an error on the pitcher there, as Cason Cunningham now at first. And that ball gets to the gap, and that'll likely score a run with Cason Cunningham's speed. Oh, they do hold him at third, so second and third with no outs, and Jace Bowen up to bat. So a little pop up to the first base side as Nimala catches it. As they do walk him, not the worst thing there. I thought about the idea of an intentional walk to set up the double play, but bases are loaded now with 1 out. As that ball will get through into left field for a base hit. It scores 1. Let's see if they send the runner. They do not. So still 3-1. Bases loaded for Josue DePaula. And that looks like a potential double play ball as they get the out at home and then they go for first. He's safe, so out at home to prevent the run from scoring. 2 outs now in the inning, and Jacob Lombard is 2 for 2 today. But no place to put him here as Straps steps in. That one's hit to deep center field, but over PCA's head. I thought he was going to get that. Okay, that'll score at least 2 runs. It's a bases clearing double. And it's 4-3 now. Man, rough inning here for Strapadopoulou. Let's see if he can get through this last inning. As Baldwin walks. I think I have to take him out here. Pitched 4 great innings, and then it all came apart here in the 5th, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll go to Ryan Kirkring here, I think. As we need an out badly. And he strikes out there, so maybe that should have come a little sooner, but I feel like he was pitching well enough to warrant that slow pull there, and ultimately comes back to bite us as Seattle takes a 4-3 lead. DeJesus with another fly out to left field. He's very cold right now. Has yet to get a hit in the playoffs, only has a walk. Wells does line that through for a base hit, though. Up the middle. As Wells goes for the steal and is gunned down by a mile. Not a great choice there, even with his 65 stealing there. And Sanchez with the ground ball to end the inning. Kirkring will stay in here to pitch the 6th. As that's hit shallow enough for PCA to grab it. Slow fly ball to the second baseman, Nimala. And Bowen will bat. Rain is beginning to fall. And Bowen hits that one to Shelley for the last out of the inning. Brett Lauder's still in the game at 84 pitches. Let's see if we can get to him here. As Shelley 1 for 2 today. And Cunningham snares that one. And they do take him out of the game, so it is now Mario Ponce. To Nimala, and that's snagged by Campos. Looked like they could have potentially been extra bases. Cutter Coffee up next, and it's that one to the gap for extra bases. So he should make it to second off of that one. That's a double by Coffee. All right, so Coffee in scoring position here with 2 outs. Let's see if PCA can knock him home. And a strikeout by PCA. All right, so still 4-3 here as we head into the 7th. Got Rodriguez, Campos, DePaula up. Rain delay. So that's a base hit into left field. All right, so Kirkring facing Campos, and that's a base hit into center field. All right. think we go to Jackson Ferris here. Against the lefty, and he doesn't do too bad against righties either, but two tough lefties due up in the next three batters, so strike out there. Nice job by Ferris against Apala. Let's see if he can get Lombard. And that is hit to PCA, playable. That's the second out of the inning. And Baldwin. Ooh, hits that one into right field. That looks like a base hit, possibly extra bases for Baldwin, as he does try to head to second here. And that scores 2, and 6-3 now. That's rough. So that's 2 games in a row that we've blown a lead here. Yeah. And our bullpen not exactly coming through in the clutch here. Lombard manages to dive and prevent Volpe from getting a hit, as Zimmerman will bat. He's 2 for 3 today. As that one hit fairly deep but playable for Rodriguez. Second out of the inning. Let's see if DeJesus can get on the board here with something. And he pops it up. Man, DeJesus has been so good this entire season, and just no hits so far in this series. Ferris will face Kason Cunningham here, as that ball is hit deep and over PCA's head off the wall, so that's a double to lead off the inning for Cunningham. And he does strike out Encarnacion Strand. See if he can get Bowen here. This will probably be his last batter. Ooh. Ferris throws, and it's an infield hit. Okay, yeah, that'll be his last batter. And let's go to Redeman here over Sieber. Well, the Sieber now properly listed as a reliever. Let's see what he can do here. I mean, we're already losing 6-3, so and he gives up a single to make it 7-3. Is he trying to stretch it to third? And Jace Bowen injured on the play and has to come out of the ball game. So Cesar Campos will bat. And that's through for a hit. Okay, so things just continue to fall apart here as yeah. It's a 2-run single, and it's 9-3 now. And Siebert does get the last 2 outs here, but not before the damage is done, and it's 9-3. We need runs, and we need them badly here. As Wells flies out to start the inning to right field. Sanchez to the third baseman, no problem there. And Shelley. Ball 4, so I do want to see, like, Theoretically, Patrick Bailey would be a good pinch hit somewhere along the line, but I don't trust the low sample size there, so see what Nimala can do, as that's playable in right center field. So Sieber will stay in to pitch the ninth, I think. At this point, it's kind of like, who cares? Maybe I'll go to Sanja here, as Sieber might starting to be tired. No, he's still good. Strike theory there. Let's see if he can get out of the inning. And he can. Our first scoreless inning since the sixth. But we need kind of a miracle here in the ninth, as Franklin German steps into pitch against Coffee Armstrong Volpe. So that one's hit well, but playable for Rodriguez. PCA 0 for 3 today, also 0 for 6 so far in the playoffs. So that one is also caught by Rodriguez. They're hitting these balls fairly well, but just not getting down for hits, as Volpe down to our last out here. And there's a slow grounder down the third base side and bobbled, so yeah, that would have been a tough play. Volpe into first there. Let's see if Zimmerman can keep the inning alive. He cannot. That's a strikeout there as we go down 0-2 in the series. Yeah, another disastrous performance by our pitching staff. Yeah, Strapadopoulos had an excellent start to the game and then just fell apart there in the fifth. And then Kerkering, Ferris, and Sieber all came in and gave up runs after being so reliable throughout the season. Yeah, it's just a brutal loss. I don't know what else we could have done there. Maybe you can argue pulling Strapadopoulos sooner. I don't think that was a bad call there, but yeah, again, our offense scored 3 runs in the playoffs. That should be enough to at least give you a chance to win. You can't win if you allow 9 runs to the other team. That's just fact. So now we need to pull off the reverse sweep if we want to have any chance of winning this series. So it's going to be tough, especially going to Seattle for the next 2 games and facing Roki Sasaki in game 3. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. In case you're wondering, it is the opening day of the Arizona Fall League. For those who watched last season in the World Series, I did double check, and we do have some players on the Salt River Rafters this year, but it's all guys like Feldman and Freeman who are, not part of our playoff roster. So we should be good there, I believe, to go into Game 3. We've got Eddie Rainville going in Game 3. He's been good throughout the season. He has walked a lot of guys, so we will have to be careful of that. His control not the greatest, but his stuff, he should strike out a lot of guys as well. So we'll see here. We've got our right-handed lineup in against Roki Sasaki. He's probably their ace, although he has been, not amazing this season. Still a tough pitcher to beat, especially, yeah, we're down 2-0 in the series. We need this win to keep the series going. Win or go home for us today. As Jace Bowen is playing today after getting hurt in the last game, he's got a quad strain, minimal injury, but it's the playoffs. You play through that, and yeah, we'll see how we do here in Game 3. Win or go home. As Zimmerman opens the game with a strikeout, DeJesus will bat next. And that's hit straight to Lombard for the second out of the inning, and Austin Wells will bat. And that's a pop-up that's playable for their second baseman there. Cunningham does make the play, and yeah, it's a 1-2-3 inning for us to start the game, and Rainville will start against DePaula. As he strikes out. The bottom fell out of that sinker, apparently. Lombard also strikes out. And Campos. And there's the walk, as was warned. But Stewart with the, I think, fly out. Yeah, fly out to Nimala. So not a bad start by Rainville. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. As Sanchez will step in for us here. And that gets into left field for a base hit. So Sanchez on with nobody out and Wade Shelley up, who's been pretty decent so far in these playoffs. Does strike out there though, as Nimala. So hot and good to end the season, but also strikes out there. Coffee. Solidly hit ball, but that should be playable for the third baseman, Montilla. So they do have Montilla in at third in place of, I think, Sal Stewart. No, Sal Stewart's playing first, so their lineup is a little different today. Let's see, who did they pull out of the game? Encarnacion Strand is normally either playing first or DHing today, and they have Cesar Campos in the DH spot instead, so that would be the change. The rest of their lineup looks largely the same. It's the lefty Rainville as Julio Rodriguez steps in. Hits that one fairly well into right field. He does go for 2 and will slide in there safely with a double. So leadoff double for Julio Rodriguez. And let's see if Rainville can pitch around this, as Rodriguez does successfully steal third off of Rainville, or off of, yeah, Rainville and Wells. So let's see here, as that's hit right to Zimmerman for the catch in the first out of the inning. Jace Bowen hits that one fairly well deep to center field, playable for PCA, but that's deep enough where Rodriguez is going to tag and score. And just like that, it's 1-0. And Cunningham hits that one, but right to Sanchez. So they score a run off a hit and a steal and a sac fly. So let's see how things go here as PCA steps in. PCA also ice cold so far in this playoff series, as he has yet to get a hit, along with DeJesus. Volpe strikes out. Zimmerman will bat next. Slow grounder to second base, but playable for Cunningham. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. So, Rainville facing Montilla here. Montilla, I believe, formerly in our system. We traded him to Seattle. Yeah, So Montilla went to Seattle for Joe Mantiply and James Hudson. So, um, I think pretty good trade for both sides there. I'd say we probably have gotten the better end of that trade slightly so far, but Montilla's starting for them in a playoff game, so yeah, I'd say not the worst for Seattle either, as DePaula does get out there and Lombard steps in and it's that one to the first base side. Rainville's got it covered, but does successfully get to the bag in time. So that's a 1-2-3 inning for us now, as DeJesus steps in, still looking for his first hit of this playoff series, and strikes out. Man, rough series for DeJesus, and he's got the ice cold snowflake next to him now, and that's probably pretty accurate, as Wells. Oh, he goes for the sliding catch in left field, and that lets the ball get past him, as Wells will make it to second off of that. So double for Wells, and Sanchez will step in after going 1-for-1 today. Let's see if he can stay hot, and that definitely helps as we get to third, as Baldwin will slowly walk back to the plate here. Yeah, so Sanchez just needs a fly ball here to score a run. Let's see if he can do that. No, he strikes out. All right, let's see if Shelley can get a hit here. And that's hit fairly deep to right field. Will that stay in the yard? It will not. Shelley with the 2-run homer to give us the lead, 2-1. Nice job there. And Namala will line out to the shortstop, ground ball. So that is the inning, but we go up 2-1 off the Wade Shelley home run, and he's been clutch so far in this series. Rainville induces the ground ball to Coffey, and that is the first out of the inning. Sal Stewart will step in next. And that is over the shortstop's head into left field for a base hit. So Rodriguez will bat now with 1 on and 1 out. And that looks like a potential double play, as Volpe throws to second, but no throw to first, as Rodriguez with his speed does beat out any potential throw. So Baldwin will step in here with 2 outs. And strikes out. Nice job there by Rainville. So still 2-1. Cutter Coffey, PCA, Volpe due up this inning. And Coffey hits that one down the line. That could be extra bases, as that gets into left field, and Coffey does slide in safely with a double. With how our pitching staff has performed, we're going to need every run we can get here. So let's see if PCA can knock him home here. He strikes out. PCA. And PCA and DeJesus would not be the 2 hitters I would have expected to go ice cold in this series here. But Volpe does come through, as that ball goes to left field. They do hold Coffey at third. I think that's probably the right call there, as much as I want to see them send him and try to get the run at home. Zimmerman hits that one, and it does drop into left field for a hit, so Coffey will score. And Volpe goes to third. Zimmerman goes for second. Okay, so Zimmerman may be trying to stretch that there, and maybe ill-advised, but Volpe is at third now, if DeJesus can actually get a hit. Oh, they actually walk him. Okay. Okay. So Austin Wells comes up instead. And he does strike out. So the intentional walk on DeJesus pays off, as they do get out of the inning without any more damage. But it is 3-1 now. So let's see what Rainville can do. He's at 67 pitches, starting to get a little tired, but still good to go for the 5th inning here. Kason Cunningham hits that one fairly deep to left field, but playable for Sanchez at the warning track. And Mantilla will bat next. And strike out. Nice job there by Rainville. So 5 strikeouts for him today. Sanchez hits that one. Oh, and it's bobbled by the first baseman, Stewart. And yeah, Sanchez gets on off that error by Stewart. Let's see if we can capitalize off of that. Do we want to pinch run here potentially for Sanchez? I don't think he's slow enough and it's late enough in the game to warrant a pinch runner, but maybe. Could go with Martinez here. Okay, you know what? Let's try to manufacture some runs here and put Martinez in with nobody out. Strikeout by Sasaki. And J.R. Ritchie comes into the game, so Sasaki's day is done. 3 runs, 6 hits. Yeah, not a bad game, but not a great game either, I'd say, for Sasaki. As Namala lifts that one into the outfield, but that's caught by Rodriguez. And Cutter Coffee will bat. Snap throw to first. Yeah, so Martinez almost caught leaning there. As Coffee hits that one into right to the shortstop. So that is the inning. Yeah, Martinez will stay into play left field after not even attempting a steal there. We've got the lefty-lefty matchup against DePaula, and then we got Lombard, Campos, a string of righties up, so maybe this will be Rainville's last batter. I'm a bit nervous to go to our bullpen, but as Rainville's starting to get tired, I think we leave him in here. Any sort of walk or okay, so that'll be his exit here, and maybe should have pulled him a batter sooner, but I think that's perfectly fine. He's at 84 pitches. Yeah, who do we go to here? Kirkring was okay in the last game. Seabra has had his last outing was a little better, but yeah, let's go to Kirkring here against the string of righties. Just try not to use him 2 innings. I think that was where we ran into difficulties in the last game. So that could be a double play. So they get 1 and they turn 2. Okay. Well, I say not to use him 2 innings, but when you induce a double play almost immediately, he might come back out in the 7th after all. So PCA steps in against Ritchie. There's a slow grounder to the shortstop there. PCA does get out there. I thought maybe with his speed he'd beat that out, but Volpe. Oh, that one's to the wall. And that'll be extra bases for Volpe, as he's been hot so far in this series. Zimmerman, 1 for 3 today. See if he can knock home Volpe, as does get the 2nd out of the inning. So DeJesus still looking for his first hit. Could be a great time for it right here. And they're respecting him. They're walking him here with 2 outs. And so Wells will bat instead. So he hits a little tapper up the middle, and Lombard will take it himself to second for the last out of the inning. So again, the intentional walk doesn't come back to bite them. Got Stewart, Rodriguez, Baldwin. I think Kirkering will face Stewart and Rodriguez, and then we maybe bring in a lefty to face Baldwin, as that gets in for a base hit there. Although this could be two. They get one. They will not be able to turn two. So Kirkering now at 11 pitches. I think we'll bring in Ferris here against the lefty Baldwin. And it is over his head for a base hit, so struggles continue for our bullpen here as we have 2 on with 1 out. Jace Bowen up to bat. And that's through for a base hit. That may score a run. Long throw to home. Oh, PCA throw to the plate. Gets him out. Nice job. PCA guns him down at home plate, saving the run. So now 2 outs in the inning. And Cunningham, it's a slicing ball to left field. And Baldwin will score off of that. So I will let Ferris face Montilla, but this will be his last bat. Well, it's a string of lefties as he walks. The base is loaded. Okay, they pinch hit with Encarnacion Strand here. I was going to leave him in against the lefty, but since there's a righty in, this will be James Hudson's time, I think. It's a very high leverage spot. Bases loaded, 3-2 ball game. We need an out. James Hudson will come in to pitch. As that ball's crushed to left field, but playable for Martinez. And we do get out of the inning still with the lead. They do score a run to make it 3-2, but yeah, this bullpen hanging on for dear life right now. As Martinez will step in for his first at-bat of the series. And that is the first out of the inning. Wade Shelley strikes out. And Nimala 0 for 3 today. Let's see what he can do. He draws a 4-pitch walk, so that is Cutter Coffee now. He's 1 for 3 today. And that's a walk. So 2 consecutive walks here for Richie. Starting to get into trouble here. Let's see if PCA can come through with his first hit of the series to score some insurance runs. And he can. So that should score at least 1, I imagine. Nimala advances to third on the throw to home. Oh, Montilla does tag out the lead runner at third. So we score a run, but the inning is over. It's 4-2 now. As Hudson only at 2 pitches, he'll face the heart of their order here. Oh, as he hits Lombard. Okay. That's not great. And then draws a walk. Okay. Sal Stewart. Come on, Hudson. That's hit deep, but playable for PCA. First out of the inning. And Lombard does tag and go to third off of that. Hudson against Rodriguez. I mean, he is who we want in here. I don't know who else we'd go to in this spot. As Rodriguez, yeah, that's, again, our bullpen just falling apart here late. And that'll score 2, I believe. No, it only scores one, so it is 4-3. Baldwin up to bat here. Baldwin much worse against lefties. I don't know if we even have any left-handed arms left in our bullpen. I mean, we've got Joe Soliday. Yeah, I mean, we'll play the matchups here. Joe Soliday coming in. I mean, we haven't, our usual guys haven't been reliable. Let's see if Soliday can get it done here. He does strike out Baldwin, so we need one out here to get out of this inning with the lead. Jace Bowen stepping in to bat. And that is through for a base hit, so we will not get out with the lead. And in fact, I think we'll go down here 5-3 or 5-4. Ah, man. Okay. As Soliday does get out Cunningham there, but does allow a hit, which allows more runs to score, and we're down 5-4 now. This is our last chance to score some runs, and Munoz, their closer, out to finish off this game, and he's going to be tough to get to. Volpe is hot. We're only down by a run. Not impossible, but Volpe with the first out of the inning. Zimmerman keeps the inning alive there with a base hit. And this is where we pinch run, I think, because we need a run no matter what. And that means that Santana's coming in to pinch run for Zimmerman. And to Jesus, I mean, he's been ice cold all series, but after his season, I can't possibly pull him in this spot here. But he does pop out again. So Austin Wells is our last out here. And he does ground out to end the game. And so we get swept by the Mariners. Bullpen blows the lead in all 3 games, I believe. Or rather, pitching in general, just disastrous in this series. Rainville with a good start. Kerkering with the hold, and then Ferris. Hudson, normally so reliable. Yeah, I mean, you can see anytime you have double-digit ERAs on your pitchers, that's not a good sign. Soliday gave up the hit that ultimately won them the game, but I mean, the damage was kind of already done before that. I don't necessarily put that on him. Yeah, I thought we were, pretty good with our bullpen heading into this series, and just continued to get let down in all 3 games. I mean, you could maybe argue there's some clutch hitting by Seattle there, but yeah, disappointing series loss. Anytime you get swept, it's a disappointing loss, but this one especially, since, this was a team that looked to be, going to be in competition for the World Series, and instead we get swept and are out of the playoffs immediately. So, man, that's a rough one. But that does happen. I mean, playoffs, anything can happen. And Seattle, not a bad team by any means either, right? Like, they went at 88-74 throughout the regular season. So, yeah, it's a rough loss, but that happens sometimes, especially in OOTP. It happens in real baseball too, but yeah. let's see how the rest of the playoffs go, as we will have some interesting decisions to make in the off season. I'll kind of go over that here at the end of this episode. Let's see how the rest of the playoffs go. If the Mariners can get past the White Sox to at least, you know, it would be nice for them to win it all after beating us in the playoffs. That make me feel a little better. As they do take a game off the White Sox, but they're still down 3-1. Now 3-2 in the series. So both series here as the Pirates. Let's see if how has Brett Beatty done for the Pirates? And Karsten Swim. Swim has been great since going over to the Pirates. Yeah, and that'll be the biggest decision for us. Actually, will be whether to try and re-sign Namala or not. I mean, he came in and was awesome the last half of the season for us, and yeah, potentially with Volpe moving over to shortstop, that does open up second base for Namala if we want to re-sign him. But the money is going to be the question here, as he's going to want major bucks to re-sign, not go to free agency. And I just don't know if we can afford it, but I hate letting him go for nothing as well. So yeah, we'll have to see what the play is there. Let's see as we go into. Okay, so it is the Pirates and the White Sox in the World Series. Dylan Moss is recovering well. Great. Just in time to not play in the playoffs. 1-1 here as the Pirates. And I feel like we traded with the Pirates when they were not doing well. Yeah, they were 13-14 in August, and then 19-8 in September. Did the Mets fall off down the stretch? Either way. The Pirates here. As this series is tied at 2 so far. Swim gets the loss in the playoffs. Any of our guys to root for on the White Sox here? I don't see any familiar names here. Yuki Matsui, I think, is a former. Yes, he did play for us back in our inaugural 2028 season, was traded to the Expos for players who didn't really end up doing anything for us for the most part. Eddie Rinders was part of the Griffin Jacks trade back in 2029. So, that was ultimately the most impactful piece we got from that, I think. As, let's see, the Pirates take a 3-2 lead against the White Sox here. 3-3. So this series is going to Game 7. 14-6 in Game 6. And the Pirates are your World Series champions. They win Game 7 9-1. But all 9 runs come in the last few innings, as 7 runs in the fourth, or 4 runs in the seventh, sorry, and 5 runs in the eighth. So, um, yeah, nice job by them. Brett Beatty is a World Series champion, as is Karsten Swim. Um, at least some of our guys managed to win there, as, yeah, we um, do not make the World Series in this one, but that is the 2033 season. 687 score this year, a fine score. Um, I would expect that to be maybe a little bit higher, given that we won our division and won 98 games this year, but oh well. That does happen sometimes in the season. Let's see. We have an option year on Orion Kirkring. I think that will likely be picked up. And in fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. And Kevin Davison, that's right. He got hurt in this season and is officially done. Our first base coach also decided to retire. Jose Castaneda, I'm not particularly interested in trading at the moment. Okay, so our upcoming free agents, and let's look at the arbitration screen too, as we have a ton of guys arbitration eligible this year. Sanjo will not be getting $10 million from me. Spoilers. Cutter Coffee only wants $3 million now in arbitration, and you could argue that he's been worth that. Sanchez, Shelley, Martinez. Yeah, we got some interesting decisions to make. Jackson Ferris is a pending free agent. We'll see. We might want to bring him back depending on what he wants. Patrick Bailey will likely walk, with Dylan Moss playing well as our backup catcher. Nimala is the big question mark here, as yeah, can we afford a potential extension for him? I mean, he's only 28 years old. I think maybe we try to make this work, but the money is going to be tight to do that. But again, I don't want to lose him for nothing, especially after trading away Swim and others for him. Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. That'll be in the off-season episode, as we'll get into that next episode. Still a good season overall for us. It's important to remember that, as yeah, we finished 98-64, get swept in the division series, which is not the way you want to go out, but I guess any way you go out is gonna not necessarily be the greatest. So yeah, we'll get into off season next time, and we'll keep going and trying to get to the World Series here. This is a team that, as constructed, should be able to make it to the World Series. We'll be another year older next year, so I'm a little nervous about when some of these contracts are starting to come due. PCA we have signed through the 2042 season. He's got a very long extension through age 41. I don't think I'd probably pick up those last 2 team options, but you never know. Yeah, and we've got Volpe under contract for 3 more seasons. The last 2 years are team options that we may or may not pick up. He's got an opt-out after 2034 too, so we could lose Volpe after this season, depending on what he decides to do. We do have Gavin Jones locked up for the next few years. Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. yeah, not much else to say here as we'll get into the off season in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Sorry, the playoffs were a little short and disappointing this year, but you know the they don't always go as you want it to. So we'll keep going into the 2034 season. Um, yeah, I mean, all you can do is build the roster the best you can and try to get to the playoffs. And then, as we saw firsthand, once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So, um, yeah, again, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell your friends and family all about the fictional Oakland A's. And yeah, I'll see you next time.